Rube, is there any concert you would stand outside for 2 days just to get up front for?
There's a few.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
2 days?
2 days, yeah. Like, the Kinks. If the Kinks came back with Dave and Ray,
Mhm.
I would probably do that. Guided by Voices, Doctor Dog, Spoon.
Didn't you see Doctor Dog?
I did 2 nights last week,
So you don't need to stand
but
out.
I would.
Okay,
I didn't have to,
I got you.
but I would.
Alright.
Yeah, so Billie Eilish is here tonight in our building.
Yeah, in our building, the Xfinity Mobile Arena.
That's right, very good.
Very good.
They were lined up on Broad Street, Dave. What's today, Thursday?
Yeah.
They were lined up Tuesday, and then I guess they weren't allowed on the as soon as they were allowed on the premises, they're lined up. I guess there's general admission on the floor.
Now, how does that work? If you're not, like, lined up here, like, do they respect where you were in line over there, like, on Broad Street when they get over here? Is there a respect factor involved?
I would think they would yeah, I don't think it's like a mad rush to I would think Billie Eilish fans would, like, honor each other's place in the line, yes.
They're an honorable bunch.
I think so, from what I've heard about yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, good luck to those kids getting up front.
Well, you don't have to worry about it because you have seats.
Sure. This is Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan, Reuben Frank, and Dave Zangaro.
And Dave wants to count down our 10 favorite Billie Eilish songs later in the pod.
A lot of football. I don't think I could get to 10. We have a lot of football to talk about today. We'll get the matchups for this Eagles-Giants game, a rematch of a butt kicking from a couple of weeks ago, a bunch of questions from all you guys. We want to answer the injury update, some notable stuff in there. But let's start with the big story of the week. We talked about it, obviously, on Tuesday. Brandon Graham's return. He has since practiced again with the Philadelphia Eagles, and Ruby talked to him after.
Yeah, it was kinda weird. It was like he was never gone. And, same locker, same jersey number, everything was the same. He was still
How much did he move back into that locker?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
Yeah, he got moved in real quick. He had a locker in another room in the building, so he just had to move his stuff.
Not as big though. You think maybe it's like, you get older, you move from a house into a condo. I thought maybe he would have sold off some of his stuff.
No, he's got a lot of stuff, but, no, it was like he never left, and he was making the same jokes and everything, and we were giving him grief about being a first round bust, and, it was like he never left. It was I think the one important point that he made was, yeah, I'm not here to be just to be a cheerleader. Like that's obviously a big part of what he does, the energy he brings, the personality, the trash talk, the vibe. But he said, if I didn't believe I could still play, I wouldn't be here. And Howie wouldn't have brought me in if he didn't think I could still play. He said, I was playing really well last year, and I feel like I'm the same guy. He said he has no issues with the triceps. He's totally 100%. He wasn't on. Well, he was on the injury report as full participant. Other, I think it said like not. I don't know what it said, but
I think it said not injury related.
that's important to him. Yeah, not injury related. That's important to him. That he's here to help this team and help this defense. And if he's the player he was before he got hurt last year in LA, I guess it was, then he will help this team as a pass rusher, as a run stuffer, and just with his energy and his personality. So there's a lot there to appreciate about BG, and that's the critical thing. He's here to play.
Yeah, it's important to remember because sometimes I think we kind of forget how good he is as a player because of all the other stuff. Now you get that other stuff. It's a bonus, but it's not the main reason he's here. He can help them on the field. If he is even 75% of what he was when he got hurt last year in LA.
Yeah, he's exactly what they need at that position. If he's still that guy. And honestly, we won't know till we see him out there. But he believes he is, and I tend to believe him. He's exactly what they need. Without having to give up a draft pick in a trade. Now, I still think there's a need to add to that position, but they haven't gotten sacks from that position. They've gotten okay pressure at times from that position. I don't think they've gotten good run defense from that position. That's something that, as you brought up when this first kind of came up, I mean, he's really, really good stopping the run, high effort guy. So
he's like a real defensive end. Like all these guys are outside backers. He's a defensive end.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though he's kind of built like a an edge rusher as opposed to like a defensive end.
He's not though, because he's pretty stout.
He is. He is.
As Lane affectionately calls him, he's a little bleeping bowling ball.
um, I don't know. I can't remember who it was. Like when that position kind of morphed from 290-pound defensive ends who, could get to the quarterback and also be great against the run. It kind of morphed into like 255-pound guys who just got sacks. And I forget who it was who first said to me, "You don't get paid for stopping the run. You get paid for sacks." And that's why everyone wants to play that position that
Heard a
way.
long time ago, get sacks, get stacks.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So there's a handful of guys that do both. Nolan Smith does both.
Mhm.
Um, so it's hard to find those guys, and they found one right in their own building.
Fascinated to see how it unfolds,
Yeah.
and he has a 2-week exemption, so he does not count toward the roster right now.
Although they only have 52, so
He could, but they could also use that spot, and we'll get to
yeah,
how they might use that spot, but they don't have to activate him. They obviously will before he plays. So I think they want to see how this week goes in these 3 practices. I think there's a chance he plays on Sunday, but it's pretty clear they're targeting Monday night coming off the bye week against the Packers.
yeah. And if he does play Sunday, I think it would be a very limited role. Um, he said he tapped out after 4 plays of his first practice, just
Mhm.
goofing around. But he said he felt good after practice. He said he'd be sore today, but practicing on your own. He said he kind of designed his own training camp, but it's not the same when you're not getting hit or hitting anybody. Um,
How much hitting you think they're doing right now?
well, they're not hitting, but
Yeah.
he didn't have training camp either. So, um, but he said he was doing football specific drills on his own and practicing moves and get offs and all that kind of thing, not just doing conditioning.
Yeah.
So
Didn't just go to the vanity workout plan.
that's right. Um, so yeah, I'm really curious to see. I think there's a small chance he plays in a limited role. I think a lot of it depends who's going to be out and what the roster construction is going to be if they can have him up. Um, but if he does play, I would think you're looking at 6 to 8 snaps.
Mhm.
Um, but then with that bye week, and then another week of practice and a long week, could see him having a bigger role by the time Green Bay rolls around.
Now, do you think the fatigue police will win, or do you think Vic will win in this?
I think Vic always wins.
Yeah, I mean, the fatigue police will tell you 6 to 8 snaps. Vic might be look at his edge rushers and go, "We need this guy."
Yeah, that's a great line. The fatigue police.
It's now in my lexicon forever.
It has to be.
Mhm.
I think of the Dream Police. Kind of reminds me of that Cheap Trick song. But uh, yeah, I'm like you said, I'm really curious to see how it plays out. Honestly, it could go either way. There's no guarantee he's going to be BG that we're used to seeing. He's 37, been a long layoff, injuries. Um, but I like what he had to say, and he's really bullish on his ability to contribute to this team.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that he's more than a cheerleader. But look, that extra stuff comes with him, the energy, the trash talk, and I think it is a positive. And I heard from a bunch of his teammates yesterday on just how quickly he started that. Jordan Mailata said that they were in stretch. Everyone else was being quiet. There was music playing, and he was already hearing BG start to chirp the offensive line. Said, "You guys look tired already." He hit him with a fat boy in the first few minutes of practice. Like, that stuff's fun, and like I do think it matters. The energy he brings, it just does. It flat out matters.
Yeah, yeah, I think it helps. I'm not sure to what extent. Um, he does have a way of getting under the other team, getting under the skin of the guys he's going against. Um, but if he's not producing, then it
Yeah, no, it
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter as
matter.
much. But so even like I got a tangible example for you. Ty Robinson, I talked to him on Wednesday. His first practice ever with Brandon
That's
Graham,
right.
right? So I wanted to talk to some of the guys who had probably missed BG at practice, and then a couple of guys who this was new for them. And he said it was late in practice, and he was a little winded. Ty Robinson was, and BG noticed it and said, "Hey, I'm tired too. We got 4 more plays. Like, get through this." And Robinson was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, you're Brandon Graham." And he said, like, going forward, he's going to make sure that he doesn't show how tired he is. He wants Brandon Graham to know that he can rely on him. So I think like it can be overblown at times, but there is a tangible benefit to having him on the football field.
Yeah, there's no question.
And it's just fun for
It
us.
is.
It was good to see him yesterday.
He had the locker room closed about 30 seconds after it opened. Locker room's closed.
All right. So he was a full participant in practice, non injury related. Some important injury notes here. Did not practice on Wednesday. AJ Brown, hamstring. Adoree Jackson, concussion. Cam Jurgens, knee. Aziz Ojolari, hamstring. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., ankle. Of those guys, who has you most concerned?
Who has me most concerned? I mean, obviously Cam or AJ. I would say probably Cam because
I think there's still a good chance AJ plays. We'll see how he gets
yeah,
through the rest of the week if he participates.
I'm concerned about Cam.
We didn't even see Cam out on the field. AJ was there watching with Big Dom. No sight of Cam, and they shut us down pretty early on Wednesday, so we didn't even see how the offensive line was configured. But the good news is you have the bye week coming up after this game. I think it's probably very unlikely Cam plays on Sunday against the Giants. But yeah, it's something that we've talked about all year with this offensive line. Really, the two guys who can't stay healthy are Cam and Landon Dickerson, and I think Cam's just been dealing with stuff,
Yeah,
and Landon too.
yeah. We haven't heard any like. Usually, you get a sense of like, oh, he'll be fine. I haven't heard. I don't have any sense of where he is and how serious an injury. I have no idea. But obviously, the bye's coming at a good time for all those guys. Um, but I mean, look, they need Cam. They need him to be the offense that they should be. And it's crazy. As soon as Landon came back, Cam went out. They really haven't had that O line healthy. I mean, Landon came out of the 2 games before he didn't play.
Mhm.
So really since
Early in the year, Lane was banged up.
yeah. So it's probably been since like week 2 that they've had the whole group intact and healthy.
Yeah,
So
it's really hurt them, and it's prevented the offensive line from being what we're used to, and it's prevented the offense and the run game from being what it used to be.
yeah, and I still believe that's the biggest factor in Saquon's. I don't want to say struggle because I don't think he's struggling. I
Yeah.
think the running game's struggling.
And he raised his hand like you expect him to do, and he talked about he can't take negative runs. I mean, I think we all kind of see through that it's not really on him, and you give him credit for trying to be accountable, being a leader, and
Yeah,
and focusing on what he needs to do better. But I talked to Tyler Steen about Saquon raising 10, and he goes, like we see negative runs as an offensive line thing.
sure.
What's he supposed to do if he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, and like you said the other day, I mean, there's been like a 1 yard run. That's an incredible run because for any other back, it would have been a -4.
Mhm.
It's not, he's getting the most out of what's there. And Nick also kind of took him off the hook and said that it's a team thing. It's not a Saquon thing.
Yeah.
But I think everybody appreciates him,
I think that goes a long way.
standing up. Yeah.
Because I think some backs in that situation would be really frustrated. Maybe he's used to it
I'm
based
sure
on
he
his
is
career.
frustrated.
Yeah, but they would show that frustration, right? They would say, I just don't have the holes, or some kind of comment, and
Yeah.
it can get ugly. I think it means a lot to his teammates that he's willing to raise his hand and say, "Hey, I haven't been as good as I need to be."
And we all see what's going on up front.
Mhm. So without Cam Jurgens this week, which we don't think he's going to play, maybe he surprises us. But two-part question here: You're the head coach. How do you handle it? Is number one. Number two is how do you think the Eagles are going to handle his absence?
It's a good question. I mean, the obvious thing is um keep running Brett Toth out there. I think that's what they'll do. Um, I don't think he was awful in in the Minnesota game. You can hide him better at center than anywhere else,
Do you think?
kind of.
I don't know. I actually don't know about that.
Well, and as long as they're happy under center, because he's not a good snapper.
Well, that's the concern, I think. And I asked Kevin Patullo this. I got a flat no. If their under center usage had anything to do with
Oh
having the
no.
backup center in there, he just said no. And look, they were running under center before Cam got hurt, so yeah, maybe they were just planning on that in this game. But yeah, I worry about Brett Toth with the shotgun snaps. We've seen him have some bad ones in training camps. And, one bad snap, we saw it the other side with Minnesota. They were in the red zone. The football got snapped right out of the red zone.
Lost 22 yards.
The kicker still made the field goal, but
Nick was asked about Drew Kendall, spoke
Mhm.
highly of him.
Yeah, I guess that's like the third door. I think the second door would be,
Moving Landon over.
yeah, Landon Dickerson obviously was a really good center in college. That has been what they've done before. We saw him start at center in the NFC Championship game. But what do you do from there? I think the obvious thing is then you put Brett Toth at left guard. I think I would do that.
Yeah.
I think I would because I feel better with Landon at center, and I think there's more chance for disaster with the center being unsettled.
We know Stout always prefers if all things are equal or close, he
Mhm.
prefers to make one switch than two.
Yeah,
That's his he's talked about that. Um,
but you have a week of practice here to get. I think that's what I would do. You would probably just plug and play Toth at center. I think Brett Toth is going to be on the field. I don't think they want to really shake around the line because another option would be to move Dickerson to center, Tyler Steen to left guard, Matt Pryor at right guard. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they want to be flipping around the whole interior of the offensive line. I think it's more likely if you do shift some things around, it would just be moving Landon to center and plugging in Brett Toth at left guard.
what if you really are high on Drew Kendall? And Nick spoke highly of him. He's going to speak highly of anyone in that situation. He's a late round pick, rookie. Dad was an NFL player. Would you be comfortable going that direction?
No. Is this me or the Eagles? Because I can't really say.
It's hard to know where he
I haven't
is.
been able to see
Yeah.
Drew Kendall in practice the last month, so I can't really give you what I would do there.
It's hard to imagine him going in that direction.
Yeah, for their sake, like it would take a lot for a rookie to jump a guy that's been here for a long time.
7 years. But I mean, he should be better than Brett Toth.
I don't know if should be. I mean,
He played at
he's a day three rookie offensive lineman.
he played at a big program. No, I don't want to disparage Army's football program, but he played at BC. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say because we haven't seen him practice. We don't know where he is. Um, but they haven't been averse to playing young kids in high leverage roles, mainly on defense. But
Yeah, not really the offensive line.
yeah, yeah, I think that is a very unlikely, but it's interesting to consider it.
Mhm. Buried the lead, by the way. Sua Opeta back on the practice squad. Maybe you start Sua left guard.
I mean, who'd you rather have out there, Sua or Brett Toth? And I don't even.
It's been so long since I've seen Sua
I mean,
play.
Sua. I thought Sua was solid.
A
He
few years
hasn't.
ago, I thought he was solid.
Gosh, he hasn't played since 2023.
Mhm.
Um, where has he been? He was with Tampa.
One of
So
my all-time favorite moments from a training camp practice. Sua had a. This is like 5 years ago. Sua had a great block in practice, and Jeff Statland just yelled, "It's Sua time!" And every time I see Sua now, that's all I can think about.
Sua Opeta. Um, undrafted, right? Originally came here as an undrafted rookie.
Yeah, Weber State.
Weber State. I'm sure that's why I talked about Rico Washington last time. Great Philadelphia basketball player. Led the nation in led Division One in rebounding. Philly guy. Gloucester County College and Weber State. Late Rico Washington, nice kid. Sua has been here. He was originally here in 2019.
Yeah, undrafted in 19.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he hasn't played in 2 years, so you're not going to throw him out there.
No. The other injury stuff, Adoree Jackson, that concussion, unlikely that he'll clear. So that brings us to our other big bit of news here. Jacorian Bennett had his practice window opened, 21-day practice window. He was limited to start the week with that pectoral injury, but yeah, Chancey's activated. They have that roster spot open. Not only Chancey's activated, Chancey could play.
Jesse could start.
Mhm.
I would say he's an eagle eye favorite. What do you say? Jacorian Bennett, eagle eye favorite?
I don't know.
Kinda like him.
Yeah, I think there's something there.
Yeah. Um, Vic said when he's healthy, you have to take a hard look at him. That tells me when he's healthy, if he has a good week, he's gonna play and might start.
Yeah, your options are if Dory's down, it's Keely Ringo, Jacorian Bennett, or Mac McWilliams.
That's it.
I actually talked to Keely just in passing yesterday. He was walking in the locker room next to me, cut off all his hair, and I was like, "How's it feel?" Because he had a lot of
He
hair.
did.
He's like, he actually told me he never realized how much easier it would be to turn his head playing cornerback without all that hair. I was like, what if that was the what if all of a
Wow.
sudden
That's what
Keely Ringo's just a stud? Wouldn't that be cool?
interesting. Turns into Darryl Green after a haircut.
Yeah.
Could be, could happen. That'd be a great story.
Wouldn't that be? The other injury stuff, a bunch of guys limited. Grant Calcaterra returned with that oblique. Landon Dickerson, ankle and back limited. Dallas Goddard calf limited, so keep an eye on that. More Ojimo shoulder injury limited, but pretty lengthy injury list.
How's your calf doing? You and Dallas both have calf injuries.
I do have a calf injury. It's okay.
Okay.
It's getting better.
So were you limited?
I've been limited for about a week now. Yeah. There's nothing worse. I got hurt in men's league sports. And then the first day back, I'm like limping at a professional football facility. You just feel like such a dork.
Yeah.
But what am I gonna do? I'm not trying to limp. It's just it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember that I was gonna ask you what the worst injury you ever had was. Like the worst sports injury or
Uh-huh.
anything? Have you had any like really
Never had anything crazy. Had
I
a few broken bones.
I had that herniated disc
Ooh,
a
that's
few
rough.
years ago.
Yeah.
It was terrible, and I couldn't sit, for more than, like, a couple minutes, um, and it happened, like, just before the draft. I think it was in, like, '22 maybe. Do you remember this? We were in there with Howie in the auditorium, and
You just got up.
I was gonna try to, like, gut it out and just sit for the presser, and, like, 15 minutes, 10 minutes into it, I just couldn't sit anymore. I got up and stood against the wall,
Mhm.
and Howie looks at me, he goes, "Was it something I said?"
I've never had a back thing. I broke my tailbone once.
Oh,
That was annoying and painful.
like playing sports?
Yeah, I was playing basketball and I got like tripped and I fell awkwardly on my butt. And like it's funny because you think sitting on soft things would be good, and it was the worst because everything you had like sit on like a hard chair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of injuries,
Yes.
and that knocked me out for about a month. Devontae Smith would have popped back up and played the next snap.
Yeah, I had a great talk with Devontae yesterday in the locker room about where his toughness comes from, and he told me a story about and that was a great segue, by the way. When he was a kid, he said he thinks he was probably 7 or 8. He would he would wait till his mom left the house, and then he would just sprint as fast as he could into a wall. He said, "I like to tackle myself." I said, "You just ran into a wall?" He's like, "Yeah, I'd run into a wall and see how quickly I could pop back up and do it again."
Were you like, "Are you okay?"
That's what I'm thinking it kind of explains the way he plays because and I talked to a couple of defensive guys about Devontae, and Zach Bond said, As a defensive player, you have so much respect for the way he plays because he says when you hit somebody like, really hard, when you clobber them, like, you're looking to see how long it takes for them to get up." And he says, like, if they're lying on the ground, like, you see it as a triumph, because you hit them so hard, they can't get up. And he said, no defensive player I know it's
Sometimes we stop and I'm like, "Gosh, what are we doing?"
I know, but
This is not ancient Rome.
Devontae, you never see him, and he said, what do you say? It's like something like, "Never let anyone see any sign of weakness." He's like, "You just no matter how hard you get, never give the defense the satisfaction of, I laid him out. Just pop up every time." And, um, the dude is what do you think, 170? 165?
Yeah. I mean,
He's actually got the 5th most yards in NFL history by a receiver under 170 or 170 and
mhm.
under, and he's probably 165.
I liked what Jalen Hurts said about it, that he just stopped asking
Yeah,
Devontae what he weighed
yeah,
because he's like, "It doesn't that shouldn't define him."
yeah,
But it's just something that, like, it's the reason you ask is because it's, like, so incredible that he plays the way he does at that size.
Right.
He's just so slight. But gosh, and we saw it from his first season when he had that elbow injury that he played through all year. He's just really tough.
Yeah.
And you're right about him popping up. Like we've seen that with other players. Like Covey to me is one where because he
Yeah.
gets absolutely demolished. I remember talking to him about it. And like I think it's a very conscious thing that small players do to not show their hurt is like they pop up immediately. Even if they're like limping back to the huddle, they want to pop up.
Yeah. Covey told me he considered himself a human bowling pin. Just get knocked up and pop back up. Um, Sorry about that. But yeah, you appreciate that. And, Devontae is like, if I'm a defensive player and I see me just pop back up, that's frustrating for me.
Mhm.
And boy, he's having a great year. Really a great month because he got off to the same slow start that AJ did, but he's been so good lately and probably the best stretch of his career, maybe the last 4
Mm.
games or so. And obviously, Sunday was a career best. Um, I think we tend to kind of just forget how good he is because of AJ. But man, Devontae he's a special player.
Yeah, and he has like an alpha personality that you don't really consider
Yeah,
because he does it in a different way,
yeah,
but he knows how good he is. And like that's why he's so vocal like he was on Sunday about
right.
seeing a mismatch and wanting to take advantage of it. He's very vocal behind the scenes on the sideline. His coaches know, his teammates know that he's going to tell them when he's going to win. Uh, he like don't be fooled by his like his public shyness. Like Devontae is an alpha.
Yeah, and very smart player. Um, he tracks the deep ball. I mean, Deshaun's the best I've ever seen tracking the deep ball, but Devontae's right there. And if gosh, he didn't even slow down at all on that 79 yarder. It was so cool to see the two of them in lockstep like that.
There's a lot of rhythm that goes into an under center play action. Like it has to hit, like the mesh point has to hit. You have to hit the drop perfect, and then like the ball has to be out. And it was a thing of beauty.
It was. It was. And no, Jalen and Devontae just they just have I mean, obviously they've known each other since they were teenagers and they just have special chemistry. It is fun.
It's been a fun season so far. Really fun month, like you mentioned for Devontae.
Yeah, I mean, he's like climbing the all-time Eagles charts. Like, I mean, he had a year head
Mhm.
start on AJ. But I mean, he got to I think say he's played 79 games. He got to 5,000 yards faster than everyone. I might have said this the other day, everyone but Deshaun and Quick, and it's pretty close. It's pretty good company.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And to do it playing second fiddle for most of those seasons to one
Yeah.
of the 3, 4 best receivers in the league is
Yeah. And you know, I mean, I'm sure he's never feeling 100%, but when's the last time he even missed a snap? He had missed a couple games early last year. They both
mhm.
missed some time, but yeah, I mean,
He's been incredibly durable.
played every game in 21, played every game in 22, didn't play the last game in 23. They rested. No, the last game in 23 mattered, and they lost him. He missed one game, but yeah, he doesn't miss any snaps. He's a special guy, and we've always talked about he's like he could have that 80 catch, 1,400 yard season. Could happen this year.
It could.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Matchups and questions.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Eagles Giants on Sunday at the Link Kelly Green game. Eagles are favored by 7 points to a team that beat the heck out of them a couple of weeks ago, 34-17.
Yeah, and you just emailed me your matchups, but I also got an email from Anthony Bonagura, who does non-football PR for the Eagles,
Mhm.
that Foo Fighters are playing at the Link next summer,
Okay.
August 13th. And tickets go on sale October 31st. I've never seen the Foo Fighters. I might pop over to that one.
I have seen them.
Have you?
Yeah.
Where was that? Camden?
Actually in Baltimore.
Really?
That's good.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, and I'm
Okay.
sorry to interrupt, but,
No, you're not.
no, I really am. I should mention that, um, it was, Queens of Stone Age will be opening that show. You gotta be complete here. Alright, now let's move on to matchups.
All right. I think the one thing that stood out most in that last matchup between the Eagles and Giants is that the Giants just bullied them. And it was like shocking to see because the Eagles have been the bullies for the last year and a half. So
Yeah,
I think that's where the matchups start this week.
yeah.
It is against Cam Scatabo.
And he was kind of the centerpiece of that bullying.
Yeah. They let a rookie fourth round pick bully them, made them miss tackles. They had 11 missed tackles in that game by 9 different players.
Mm,
So it wasn't just like one guy screwing up, it was a lot. There was that play on the goal line with Adoree Jackson that no one liked, right? It was kind of ugly where he didn't even try to tackle him. So that's where this starts for me is hit the rookie and also limit Jackson Dart's ability in the run game, which isn't really a toughness thing. That's just keeping contained and keeping an eye on a young quarterback.
yeah, and a lot of quarterbacks have hurt them with their legs. Carson did on a couple of those late runs.
They faced a bunch of mobile quarterbacks:
Yeah,
Carson, Baker Mayfield, Patrick
Mahomes
Mahomes.
killed him in the first half,
Yeah,
60 yards. So, yeah, I think that's gonna be a real key. I think Dart throws the ball well, but when he's doing both, he's really dangerous.
yeah. So they have to keep an eye on him. Uh, and Vic brought up that if you take away the QB runs, like we've actually been okay against the run, which is true. You know,
You can't take yeah,
they have to take him away.
yeah,
So we'll see how that goes. But I I understand you can't take him away, but I think it does it shows that they've been a little bit better against the traditional run game than you might think by the numbers. So that's in a way encouraging, but you have to figure out how to stop the QBs, especially because those can be. It's not like it's all designed QB runs. It's a lot of scrambles, and those can be just demoralizing plays.
yeah, no doubt, especially, like, on those 3rd and longs and convert them.
Yeah, so that's number one. Number two is the Eagles' corners against the Giants' receivers. No Malik Neighbors 2 weeks ago. No Malik Neighbors the rest of the season. That didn't seem to matter. Uh, Even from the first, like one of the first plays of the game, Lil Jordan Humphrey is out there mossing Keely Ringo. Those other guys were able to win. Wandale Robinson and Lil Jordan Humphrey in that game.
Yeah, and they're not great receivers, but I think the Eagles' confidence was just shot by middle of the 2nd quarter in that game.
They were shocked. And Reed Blankenship was asked about it yesterday, but there was a moment on the sideline. He just like pulled everyone together and said, "Guys, calm down." And it didn't really work. But they were just like kind of in shock the way that the Giants were just taking it to them
Yeah,
in that game.
yeah, they're not used to it, and
Yeah, they got punched in the mouth and just didn't recover.
who knows why that happens? I mean, they're human. The it's they'd beaten the Giants, what, like 17
Yeah.
out of the last
So one of
21
those games,
games?
I remember talking to Zach Bond after it, and he admitted that they were more physical than us. And I was like, "Why did that happen?" He's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It just did."
yeah, and things steamroll, and it happened. Um, the real test is don't let it happen again, and we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how that part of it goes.
In that first game, Keely Ringo was targeted 4 times, gave up 3 catches for 69 yards. Adoree Jackson was targeted 11 times, gave up 6 catches for 44 yards.
Yeah, Adoree wasn't as bad. Um,
Until you factor in some of the tackling.
yeah, tackling was not good. Um, if Jacorian Bennett is healthy, he's got to play.
I think so too.
Has to. Yeah.
On the other side, Jalen Carter did not play in that first game. And look, they should have beaten the Giants without Jalen Carter, but getting him back in this game is going to be a really big boost.
Yeah, and he's still not back to where he was last year, but
Getting pretty close based on what we saw last week.
that pressure up the middle on the Jalen Hunt pick six. That's what he's capable of doing. And I think by the time we get back from the bye, you'll see a Jalen Carter who's doing that regularly throughout games. I think he's getting close.
Was off the injury report completely to start this week.
Good sign.
Played 97% of the snaps in Minnesota. I think that's like one of the biggest storylines as we get ready for the second half of the season. We're not quite there yet, but uh, I think that is like a huge deal. They haven't had a healthy Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
He's might be the best player on that defense.
Yeah.
Healthy, in shape Jalen Carter.
Yeah. And I think he's getting close.
Mm.
And watch out NFC East or whoever they're playing when he's 100%. We saw what kind of player he is last year.
Yeah.
He's
And I think the Giants are susceptible in the interior of their offensive line.
Yeah.
Uh, their center was out last week with a concussion. He might be back. He's okay. The guards are kind of weak.
Schmitz.
Yeah, John Michael Schmitz, the center. But Van Roten, not great. John Runyon, not great. Like I think there's a chance that Jalen Carter has a huge game. And they have good tackle play. Andrew Thomas is really good. Jermaine Illuminor, pretty solid at right tackle. But I think up the gut is where they win in this game. And that can, I mean, you get to a young quarterback in 2 seconds, it's going to change the game.
Yeah. And I also think that whole physicality thing, I'm not saying it's as simple as if Jalen Carter's out there, it doesn't happen. But I also think it's a lot harder to bully a team that's got Jalen Carter on the field
Mhm.
than a team that doesn't.
Yeah. Eagles offensive line in this game, tough matchup. We know that defensive line is good. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns is leading the NFL in sacks. Abdul Carter has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the sack numbers yet, but among the league leaders in pressures and in quick pressures, so he can beat you in a hurry. Kayvon Thibodeau's still a really good player. Eventually might be the odd man out there, but they kind of bring it in waves.
Yeah. And it looks like they won't have Cam Jurgens. So it's a matchup to watch, no doubt about it.
Especially with Dexter Lawrence, if you have a backup center. Now, I mean, that could kind of play into my idea of starting Landon Dickerson instead of Brett Toth at center.
They're going to find Brett Toth, like wherever he
Mhm.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you find the weak link, but yeah, I wonder how that would play. Would they rather have Dickerson at center versus the nose tackle or left guard? I would think center.
Could be. And also,
The Giants are a little banged up too, by the way. They have some key injuries on their
yeah,
initial report.
yeah. I just think Stout's more likely to just change one position, but we'll see.
Mhm.
You can make a pretty good case to go the other way.
Yeah. Giants injury report, by the way, to start the week. Brian Burns did not practice. Paulson Adebo did not practice. Javon Holland did not practice. So we'll see how that week progresses. Because one of my matchups is AJ Brown versus Paulson Adebo. Both of them did not practice on Wednesday. I think there's a chance they both play. They're going to have Adebo traveling with Brown if they're both out there. I'd take that matchup all day from the Eagles.
All day.
And then on the other side, Cordell Flott, they made look like a good player 2 weeks ago. I think that's a weak spot. So if you have Devontae Smith on Cordell Flott, you take that matchup all day too. They weren't able to take advantage of these matchups the last time, but in the week since then, it seems like they figured out their passing offense a little bit.
Yeah, it sure does. So I still like those matchups. I'm going to just forget what happened 2 weeks ago. I mean, there's some matchups that really favor the
Same for
Eagles.
me a little bit. Like it happened. If anything, how do you think the Eagles use it?
And I asked Nick that on
Mhm.
Monday, and he said, "Oh, we just focus on."
Mhm.
I don't believe it. I think that's a motivating
Yeah.
thing.
And to a player, I think they're using it as motivation.
Yeah, because they didn't just lose; they got embarrassed.
Mhm.
They got manhandled. The last thing you want to do as a football player is get out physical.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So I don't know how you don't draw, strength from what happened and just go play angry.
And it might not be like as a team we got embarrassed, but I think individually they feel that. I
Yeah.
talked to two of the captains yesterday. Jordan Mailata said that was the worst game he thinks he's ever had in his career. So it's a little personal for him. And Reed Blankenship was like, we got our butts kicked. Of course we feel a certain type of way about it. And they should.
Yeah, and Nick started out saying, if you need like if you are preparing harder for one game, then you're not preparing enough for another game. But it's a different thing, and I think you know it's okay to use something like what happened 2 Thursdays ago as motivation. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
if
that.
it makes you focus more on a Wednesday,
Yeah,
so be it.
absolutely,
Dallas Goddard had a big game in week 6.
huge game.
Yeah, 9 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. So keep an eye on him in this one. He really beat up. They don't have great safety play. Who needs Xavier McKinney? You have Tyler Newbin and Javon Holland. So
What were they thinking?
I don't know. Keep an eye on that. And then Saquon Barkley, we do this every week. Is this the week the run game breaks out? On paper, it could, but we said that on paper the last 2 weeks as well.
I'm going to say it is.
Okay.
I'm going to say he gets his first 100-yard game. That might be my bold prediction. Like
It's
last
funny
year,
that's bold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year, he'd have to go like 250.
well, you'd say 100, that he'd be under 100. That would be your
Mhm.
bold prediction. But yeah, I mean, we've seen signs of it the last few weeks early in games.
How do you think they handle this? Because it was very clear in Minnesota they wanted to run. They wanted to be a run first team, and it kind of worked a little bit, but then they really got away from it because the passing game was working so well. How do you think they come out in this game? Like, what do you think their mode is?
So I don't like if you want to establish a run, you don't have to run on every down. Like you don't have to do it the first, what was it, first 6 or 7 plays. You can mix it up and keep the defense guessing, because if they know you're going to run and you're like, we're just going to keep running it down their throats until they stop, well, they're going to stop it. So I do think they're going to try to establish a run. But you can also mix it up because I think they got some really good matchups down the field.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, and we'll see. I'm very curious to see what if they're under center in this game. Now, the natural thing we've always heard is like it takes away the QB run game because it's harder to run.
Sure.
Obviously, RPO, read option stuff. You're not running it under center. So, but they haven't really been using QB run stuff that much anyway recently.
Right. I don't care what he said. I think it's going to depend who's playing center. I mean, we've seen Brett Toth try to shotgun snap. It's not pretty.
Like and it's not like every snap is bad, but one bad snap can really change the course of a game.
But it's like 1 out of 10 every 10. And
Yeah,
maybe those are just the
he's
ones that,
gotten better.
so 1 out of every 12. But it's not pretty. So I think there's a connection there. But if Landon's in center, I think you'll see more shotgun. I just do.
Okay. Matchups. Anything I missed?
No, very complete and exhaustive as always.
I mean, honestly, this one was pretty easy because I did it 2 weeks ago.
Just cut and paste.
It did. I should have just done that. No, I mean, I did change some stuff based on the way that game went, but honestly, matchups are way easier when I know the team as well as I know the Giants.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take some questions now. Eagle Eye at NBCUni.com. The QR code is on the screen. First time is from John. Guys, big fan, but can you discuss why you all give Brett Toast such a hard time? He's not an all pro, but I feel like he doesn't need to be the butt of jokes. Give the man some love once in a while.
What jokes is he the butt of?
I think the jokes are like how long he's been here,
But
but
it has nothing to do
that's
with
not like his play.
I mean, it's actually something to admire, the fact that this
Yeah.
undrafted guy from Army who never pass blocked in his life has carved out a 7-year
Yeah.
career. Good for
I
him.
thought we brought up his good play in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like he held up. I think he in a weird way he was less effective in the run game, but in pass protection he held up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I give him credit for that.
Yeah. On the 79-yarder, he was
Great,
terrific.
great blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I try to give him credit.
Yeah, I think we did.
I think he's clearly when he's out there, he's the weak spot of the line, but it's also a good line.
Right.
Okay. Next one is from Sean. Greetings, Dave and Rube. First, with
Hey,
Cam
Sean.
Cam Jurgens potentially hurt. He is hurt. You didn't know that when you wrote this.
He meant potentially missing the game, I guess.
Do you think it's time to try out Willie Lampkin? His preseason tape looks incredibly promising and seems to bring much needed physicality. There's another question, but we'll get to that one first.
Again, we're out of practice before they start practicing, so it's hard to really know where he is. He was pretty good in the summer.
Yeah. He's not practicing. He's on IR. So
Is he still on IR?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And
They put him on IR when he got here, and he's still on IR.
Yeah, they haven't opened his window. On the side field, it's like their developmental crew of offensive linemen. It's Willie Lampkin, Miles Hinton, and Cameron Williams. All three work out together on the side field. Look, I'm as intrigued by Willie Lampkin as maybe anyone in the world, but they're not going to throw him in there. He's a rookie.
I'm intrigued by Hinton.
Mhm.
because he went to high school with Olympic gold medalist in the 800, Trenton High. That's all.
Who was that?
I think Moo.
Okay. Second for
Trenton
Rube.
makes.
As a connoisseur of the musical world, what are your thoughts on Tom Waits? His sound may be gritty, but I feel he captures a certain accurate slice of life for the American culture. Thanks again for all the hours of good listening.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
I like Tom Waits. I like that song, "The Piano Has Been Drinking, Not Me." You ever heard that song? The piano has been drinking,
What
not
was
me.
that?
I'm not gonna do that again, but, you know, I don't love Tom Waits, but I like Tom Waits.
Okay.
I like some Tom Waits. I like him better than John Waite.
Okay.
I like the music questions, though. Maybe we'll get a Billie Eilish question.
From Kenneth. What are your 10 favorite Billy? No. We need pass rush help. Jets need a quarterback. What would you guys say to Tanner McKee and a 3 or a 4 to the Jets for Jermaine Johnson
Why would you trade Tanner McKee?
to get Jermaine Johnson?
I'm not trading him.
For anything? There's a point where you
For a
would.
1. That's it.
Max Crosby.
Yes.
Okay.
But they want 3 ones for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just want to make the point that you would trade him. There's
Well,
always a price.
Yeah. But 3 ones or Tanner and a 4, I think it would be.
You wouldn't even consider that
No, I don't think so.
for Jermaine Johnson.
Nope.
Straight up, Tanner McKee for Jermaine Johnson.
I would not do it because they're 5-2. They're as good as anyone, I think, in the conference, even
Mhm.
though they're a flawed team and they've had some issues. They have a realistic chance of getting back. And
You have Sam Howell.
that's why that's why I'm not going to trade Tanner.
Okay.
You want to go into the Super Bowl? I mean, we saw what can happen with a backup quarterback in the Super Bowl. Sam Howell ain't doing what Nick Foles did. Tanner McKee has a chance to I think he's pretty good. So no.
Wow. Okay. Next one from Pete. Hey, Dave and Rube, love the pod. A little early, but would love to get your thoughts on if Jalen Carter's tumultuous season might lead to a slight discount in his extension this offseason. He's obviously going to be paid, as he should, but he missed the game due to spitting, missed the game with an injury, and consensus is he hasn't been quite the game wrecking monster he was last year. Any chance the team has a little leverage here?
It's an interesting question. It's something I was thinking about, and I wrote about it for my 10 obs and ended up not using that particular vignette. I think if he has the second half that I anticipate him having, I don't think it'll be a factor.
Yeah, it matters. It's always funny. It matters what order things happen.
Yeah,
It just does.
yeah, it does. Now
That's why if you have to get tossed from a game for spitting, you do it in week 1.
if he doesn't return to his form from last year, possibly could drop his value down a little bit, but he's still going to make more money than you and I combined.
He's already done that. What are you talking about?
That's true.
He's wearing $100,000 around his neck.
Yeah. So I think it is possible but if he plays the way he did last year for the second half, then he's still getting that 40 million or whatever.
And it's like, yeah, like maybe he's not playing at that level. I think everyone knows what he is
Yeah.
and who he is. And the one guy who does is Drew Rosenhaus, and he's not gonna accept a deal that's not market.
Yeah.
Not
And
fair
the last
market.
thing you want to do if you're Howie is get into any kind of uncomfortable contract situation with maybe your best player.
Yeah, look, it doesn't like they have the leverage they have is that he was a first round pick and you have a 5th year option. So, that's the leverage, is that you don't have to pay him now just because he's eligible after this year.
Right.
You have 2 more years of team control. So like that could be the leverage. And
And
maybe
his price could go up though.
no, absolutely. And like if he doesn't sign a contract, that's what he's banking on, right? Is that
Right.
he's going to play well the next year. And but I think there's a world where that happens.
Yeah. I mean, when you look, I don't think there's any chance. I shouldn't say no chance, but I think what we saw last year is the player he's going to be. for the duration of that contract. And there might be stretches where he's not, but I
And I
think
think there are going to be questions too about, unfair or not, I think there'll be questions about, hey, when you pay this guy, are you still going to get the same motivation?
yeah, and I think that's true with anyone, maybe um to an extent, but I think that's fair.
Yeah,
But
a guy who they admitted wasn't in the best shape to start this season when he has a chance to make $120 million.
yeah, no, it's totally fair.
Mhm. Next one is from Reggie. Great.
Reggie, the puppy.
Not the Eagles director of Joy Reggie. If he figured out how to type out an email, though, that would be pretty cool.
Would that surprise you?
Mm.
That's a smart puppy.
Great job, gents. Keep up the good work. Comment. Amazing how after two disappointing losses overall record wise, the Eagles are still in a pretty good place. Getting a win over the Giants will be a good way to go into the bye. Question for you both, and especially Rube, who has mentioned how impressed he is about the toughness of Devontae Smith. So, of the three Philly athletes, who would you guys say was the toughest? Perhaps rank them. So he gives us three names here: Devontae, Allen Iverson,
Obviously, Allen was going to be one of them.
and Lenny Dykstra.
I think I've never seen an athlete tougher than AI. I mean, he was basically a small forward in a point guard's body.
And he
Um,
said we could pick a flyer, but putting hockey players in the mix is probably unfair because they're all pretty tough.
yeah, I couldn't name a flyer, but
Okay.
Mitchkoff. I know Jordan's high on Bonker, the guy who's in. Is he in junior now? Bonker. Um, I think AI is the toughest athlete I've ever seen in any sport. I mean, the way he played the game. I mean, he played the game in the paint like
Mhm.
90% of the time. Yeah. So
It's tough too because like we think those guys are tough because they're playing players who are bigger than them.
yeah,
There's something to be said for a big guy just being tough too.
that's true.
Like, like Landon Dickerson's pretty
But out of those three
doggone
guys
tough.
that he gave
Yeah,
us, I mean, I'd hate to rank them, but
yeah.
I,
And I didn't really get to see Dykstra play, but you did. Pretty tough, right? I mean, call him
oh yeah,
nails.
nails. Yeah. Do you know that the girl that played Meadow on Sopranos is married to Lenny Dykstra's son?
I didn't know that.
I don't know how I know that.
I'm surprised you know what The Sopranos is.
I like Sopranos.
What?
Yeah,
You watch The
I
Sopranos?
do. I did. I don't watch a lot of TV, but
Yeah, that's why I'm
I
so
mean the
shocked.
acting
Is that the
was,
last show you watched?
a little Parks and Rec. I think that's pretty funny.
You watched The Sopranos
Yeah,
and Parks
real
and Rec.
similar
Did you
shows.
ever see The Wire?
Never did.
Maybe we can get you to watch The Wire.
Okay,
Would you be into that?
I'll give it a shot.
Wire's great.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I like the band Wire. Kidney Bingos.
Kidney bingos?
Yeah, the band Wire. Kind of like never mind.
They play kidney bingo
No, it's the name of a song. I think they're opening for Billie Eilish tonight. Let's look up who's opening that show.
for Billie Eilish.
What's the name of the building we work in?
Xfinity Mobile Arena. It is tough when it goes from a center to an arena.
Yeah. The opening band for Billie Eilish's concert at the Xfinity Mobile Arena is Young Miko.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Young Miko's body of
I'm
work?
more of an old Miko fan.
Now, if it was Nico Case, I'd probably go out there.
Want to get to one more question here?
Yeah.
From Shahan. Hey, Dave and Rube. One thing that I noticed that isn't getting talked about with this Eagles team is that they played the most games in the NFL last season with 21. So I took a look back and saw this was the third team since the move to 17 regular season games to win the Super Bowl in their 21st game. Even though it's a small sample size, it does show some interesting trends. The Rams in 2021 were the first team to play 21 games and win the title. The next year, they were riddled with injuries and never really looked the same, even when healthy. The Chiefs in 2023 were the second team, and we saw they were barely able to find ways to win games the next year before eventually returning to the Super Bowl.
They went 15-2 or whatever. But yeah,
Is it possible that the extra long season this year or last year is causing a hangover effect, which results in all the lackluster play and injuries we're seeing this season? Love the show as always.
yeah, it's an interesting theory. I don't buy it. I don't think one extra game. I think what's interesting is the number of wild card teams over the last like 10 or 15 years that have won Super Bowls, like playing the extra game, which was 20 for a while and it's 21 now. Um, I think Nick and Howie, I think they were very good at giving this team off the time they needed between the Super Bowl and, and training camp. I don't think so. I don't think there's any connection.
I'm buying into it a little bit because especially like the injuries on the offensive line, like we know Cam and Landon were injured at the end of that very long season.
Sure.
I think it's very possible that stuff lingered,
Landon's
especially.
always injured.
Well, what about Cam?
I mean, Cam had a very specific injury, had
Okay.
surgery on it. I mean, he would have still had surgery if they didn't play a wild card game.
Yeah, but it would have been sooner.
No, it wouldn't, because they
What do you
still would
say?
have played in the Super Bowl.
I thought you meant if they like went out of the playoffs.
Oh,
I get what you're saying. If they were the 1 seed and
yeah.
didn't play wild card game, yeah, sure. But I think there's probably a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think there's a correlation. But I mean, there's no way to know. Every team has injuries. I don't know if they have more than other teams. I mean,
I actually don't think they do. I mean, they've for the most part, the injuries they've had have been like lingering ones. We haven't seen the catastrophic ones,
yeah.
other than Ben Van Sumeren on literally the first play of the game. Owo Okoronkwo has the triceps. He's out for the year.
He wasn't even here last,
Yeah. I'm just saying in general, like injuries,
Yeah.
like
I mean, Adoree Jackson, Azeez Ojulari, these guys are hurt who weren't even on the team last year.
Mhm.
So, I guess it's possible. There's no way to know, but I'm not buying it.
yeah. I was kind of moving on from the question, just talking about their injury
Okay.
luck in general.
Yeah.
I think they've been relatively healthy.
I think that was the key last year, was they did have guys banged up, but there were no
Mhm.
serious IR like for the year guys. By the Super Bowl, they were pretty
Yeah.
intact.
Speaking of injuries, we should have talked about this already. The Eagles opened the practice window for Jacorian Bennett. They did not open the practice window for Nolan Smith
Yeah.
or for Darius Cooper, who were put on the IR at the same time. So they were eligible to have their practice windows open. Any concern about Nolan?
No, it's kind of what we expected. I think it's kind of, we didn't think we'd see him till after the bye.
I wondered
So,
if they'd start that practice window though.
yeah, I mean, serious injury. The bye comes at a good time. I would be concerned. I mean, you're always concerned. I'd be concerned if they don't open it the week before the Packers game. Sure.
Fair enough. All right. If you have a question for us, eaglehead at NBCUni.com. Rube, who are you picking this week?
I'm picking the Eagles. I think I'm going to pick them big. I think this could be the game where they kind of look like a 60-minute team. And not because of the revenge factor totally, but I just think they're a much better team than the Giants, and I think they'll show it. I think there's some good things to build on from Sunday in Minneapolis. That was a tough win against a good team.
What a huge win, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's too early to call that a must-win situation, but it kind of felt like it a little
It did.
bit.
Yeah. I thought that was one of their bigger wins under Nick. I really did. Because you lose it, that's 3 in a row. And it's a tough place to play. I mean, they had the number 2 pass defense in the league, and you threw for 300 whatever yards against them. That was big.
23.
Plus 326.
Okay.
I'm not going to look it up, but gross yards, and then subtract 10.
Why are they gross to you? You're more of a
yards.
running guy?
No, versus net passing yards, which I think was 10 sack yards. I think it was 316, but I could be wrong. I'm going to look it up. Dang it. But yeah, it was one of Nick's bigger wins, I think. And I really like, you keep waiting for them to build on something. And I think that might be it.
I'm going to pick the Eagles in this game too. Got burned by them against the Giants last time. I thought it would be a double-digit win.
326 net, 316 gross.
Okay.
I did it, Dave. I got one of those stats right.
I'm proud of you.
I know you are.
All right. Any final words here?
No, I'll see you at the Billie Eilish show.
Sounds good.
Are you going to get there in time for Young Miko's set, or are you going to?
I have someone saving my spot actually
Okay.
out there in the parking lot.
I might just come for Young Miko and then leave.
Fair enough. If you enjoyed the Eagle Eye Podcast, please do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, click the like button, subscribe there as well. Sunday, enjoy the game, 1 p.m. Kelly Green home game. We'll talk to you after. This is the Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan. Have a good weekend.